So let me. What is your name?
Oh, my name's Marlene Delong.
Marlene Delong. Okay, you were telling me about growing up here, and you didn't see the ocean until you were 14.
Right. That's so true. Both grandparents had farms, so that was our weekend, visiting grandparents and enjoying cousins, which I have many, especially on my mother's side. And we just did not take vacations. My parents had a huge truck patch. My mother spent the whole summer canning, because then you didn't have a big freezer.
Right.
She just put up everything in jars, preserved it by canning. And somehow or another, we did get to take a vacation when I was a teenager, and I saw the ocean for the first time. It blew me away. I could not believe those tremendous waves. I mean, we only had a radio. You didn't know what it was like.
You didn't see it, right?
Until you laid eyes on it, and saw this ocean. Yeah. So.
Wow. Yeah. And that was the Jersey Shore.
Jersey Shore.
Wow. And your family goes back generations?
Oh, yeah. My dad, he was more into, my maiden name was Moll, M-O-L-L, and he really went back into genealogy a little bit. Knew there were 3 brothers who came over from Germany and settled in 3 different counties of Pennsylvania, so that they had, I'm sure, farms. I don't know that that long ago, but farming was the main way of making a living anyway. But fond memories of both farms, both places.
I heard of that, but
cows and just running around, watching the crops get brought in and all that kind of stuff. I was young enough to enjoy and not really have to do some of the hard work, as they would get the children that came to visit, help with the threshing and husking corn, which was done by hand. I was just in the age yet that I could be enjoying the company of kids. I wasn't old enough to be forced into all that kind of thing. So,
when you visited your cousins, you're saying?
When I visited grandparents,
grandparents.
Other cousins were also there.
I see.
On my mother's side, I had 44 cousins.
Wow.
And believe me, I can say I knew almost every one of them into their adulthood.
Wow.
Because it was a family that just congregated and had wonderful summer picnics together and all that, and congregated at the farm.
Right.
It was good times.
Good.
We had very little. My parents, monetarily, and it was depression. I don't remember all of that hard life. But they got together and they ate good and we had fun times, and it didn't seem like anything else was important, So that's I have pleasant memories of growing up, childhood. So
how has Pennsburg changed over the years?
Well, it's interesting that I had girlfriends that went to school with me from the town. I was a country kid.
Right.
And the one thing that I remember my girlfriends talking more about as we get older is they knew everyone on their block, both sides of the street. And they could just go down the street and feel very safe. And say hello, even if it was a family that didn't have kids their age, hi so-and-so, they knew names, they knew the parents, and that's the one thing that I think is so gone, the closeness of block by block, knowing, the people who live close to you, and the parents they knew that they had neighbors that would look out for their own if they were not within their sight. And I think it's a shame how that has kind of changed. And yet you have to welcome new people because new people have new ideas and all of that. And, we've grown. It's still a great community. I have nothing to say that I think would be a detriment to living here.
What was your favorite place in the area when you were growing up?
My favorite place as a kid, was a water called the West Branch of the Perkiomen that this family gathered in what was a quarry that did a lot of taking out stone. I can point the homes out in the Perkiomen Heights area where those stones were quarried and made homes, and we used to picnic in that. No longer a quarry, but it was our area to picnic by the water and wade and just have so much fun, and that's really a dear memory. Plus the one-room school, well, it was actually two that I went to through 7th grades. The buses came. I'm telling you my age because, I walked to school prior to that, and then they took out 7th and 8th grade and did away with 8th grade graduation in country schools, and then we were bused into the town schools.
Okay.
So I chose Pennsburg, where my sister had gone, and then in 1952, the jointure happened of Upper Perkiomen High School, where East Greenville and Pennsburg joined, and rivals became classmates. And I was in the first graduating class of Upper Perkiomen, which was 1955. So that's kind of a little bit of a, whatever you call it. We have reunions, we get along marvelously. But we had 1 year together after playing, that was an adjustment, but you're young and you adjust, and everything's fine. So,
Good. Thank you, Marlene.
Oh, you're welcome.
Okay. All right. Take care.
Little snippet.
Yep.